Well, I'm joined by Jesse, Tony, and Josh, who are among the most active pedophile hunters in the country right now. I'm also joined by Shane, who, despite claiming to have originated the phenomena, says these guys should leave the hunting to the professionals. Well, my next guest is in fact a former FBI detective, law enforcement officer, and chief criminal investigator who has done a lot of the training. He's been through this for his entire career. Please welcome Steve Corden. Steve, thank you so much for being here. Steve, first off, do you think they should be doing it or not?
Absolutely not, Dr. Phil.
And why not?
Well, there's no law enforcement agency in the country that wants you doing this, nor wants to work with you because you're destroying their investigations. Police officers come on the job and they spend years before they're even considered for a job like this. It requires dedication, years of training, years of supervision. You're being watched very closely. You've got the rule of law, you've got the rule of evidence. You've got to prepare for the district attorney's office. You've got to prepare to present it to a grand jury. None of that can be accomplished by what you're doing.
And, you know, as I'm watching what's going on here, I'm concerned, and I don't mean to brag, but I'm not a lawyer. So I just look at this from a lay standpoint, but I'm thinking, I'm concerned about entrapment. I'm concerned about the chain of custody with evidence here. And when you go to these guys, what is said and not said may or may not fit the elements of the law of what needs to be done. How do you know what's their state of mind? It just seems to me that if you took one of these cases and took this video and attempted to prosecute it, a halfway decent criminal defense lawyer would just blow it full of holes.
The process with regard to what they're doing has more holes in it than Swiss cheese. And law enforcement can't work with them. They can't put a rubber stamp and say, you know, it's okay, give us the stuff and we'll. It can't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way because law enforcement will find evidentiary problems. They're going to find that you probably have entrapped people. I mean, what is the training that your decoys go under? Some of your decoys may even be sexual predators themselves.
My thing is why is a New York City school teacher arrested and nobody else? If law enforcement won't work with us, why is it that guy was arrested and none other?
Because it's a public.
Likely, he was arrested for violating his conditions, failure to report, but something other than what you did, except you turning him in.
Failure to report that he wouldn't be in a school.
Well, his point is, if we're going to leave it to law enforcement, why do they arrest this guy but not these other 19 that were not as high profile because they're doing just as much damage as this guy? Why do they only want the collar that gets some ink and not these guys that are doing just as much damage? That's
I
your
was
question.
told by the FBI, I sat in the room with them, and they said, don't bother unless you get a guy that makes over $100,000 a year. He's an immigrant, a doctor, a teacher, or a lawyer. That says something. But if I call you guys and I say there's a guy selling dope on the corner, you're out there in a heartbeat. But there's a man to meet a child and nobody shows up.
Law enforcement's going after not only the high-hanging fruit, but the low-hanging fruit. If you bring a case to somebody that is assigned only to do high-profile cases, he'll refer it to somebody else. Law enforcement, if you dealt with an officer that blew you off, then you should report it to a supervisor. Go to the district attorney's office, go into the detective's precinct and talk to them and report it there. If you're not having satisfaction, the layman police officer has no clue on what sexual predator investigations are involved with.
We used our followings to our advantage to try and get arrested. Each one of us have tried to get arrested. And when we said, we know we're not going to get arrested, we kept going. Problem is, I needed therapy myself, man.
Yeah.
Just to realize.
Yeah, no argument there.